It's a lovely moist day out here and the birds are screaming. And today we have the first of many upgrade series on the Double Eagle Noveske N4 GBBR. And if you didn't see, just recently we posted the full review video of this thing, and honestly I think it is awesome. Now we're on a mission to build an AR that I don't dislike, because I'm just so bored of all the typical common AR builds out there. And to start off, we are just trying to turn this thing into one of the most futuristic ARs that we possibly can. This is the CQR Gen 2 stock from Hera Arms, a company located in Germany. Now, originally who turned me on to this, and I do just want to give a rightful shout out. I'm going to throw his name here because I forgot what his Instagram handle is. But when I originally saw this, I had started a series where on live stream I was ranking people's gas blowback replicas. And this was one of the gas blowback replicas that was sent to me. It was a Tokyo Marui MWS, and on it had a bunch of really cool futuristic upgrades, including this stock. When I saw it on stream, in my head, I don't know why, but when I looked at it, I was like, there's no way, that's an AEG. I just didn't think it looked like a GBBR. And after I posted the video, he messaged me and was like, it's definitely a GBBR, sent me some more photos. And not only was I super apologetic, but I loved the build. So let's get into it. Again, I picked this up on my own. To do this build, we are running the CQR stock. And in order to put it on, he had mentioned to me that I'm going to need to pick up one of the A2 style mil-spec buffers. There's like the receiver extensions. So we got one of these, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I guess we'll pop the stock open because I did hear a bunch of like rattling parts on the inside. Yeah, okay. Cool. Guess we have a little instruction manual and some hardware. What do we have here? All the parts and whatnot. Okay, so I'm not going to need a majority of these things. Let me clear this off and we'll just focus on the stock. So here's the stock and grip, and you can see it comes in 3 parts. We have the grip, the stock, which looks like it comes with some QD points, and a sling attachment point as well if you wanted to use like just a strap. You got the little butt pad. It's so tiny. It's the size of my pointer finger. It's got a little rubber butt pad on it as well. And then a slew of necessary hardware. Now the first things we have to do is add the grip on and then also attach the new buffer tube. So just to do that, we're going to pop off the stock. If you don't know, just pull this guy down a ton and then it should slide all the way off the buffer tube. Next, you want to give yourself a like castle nut wrench or an AR wrench. And I already did this off camera just because I wanted to make it a little easier. And you're going to loosen the castle nut counterclockwise, which will totally loosen this guy. Just be careful. This should be under spring tension with a spring and detent, so be careful when we take that off. I'm going to leave that a little tight for now. First, we're going to attack that screw at the base to get the grip off. Just dropping this grip off. Be careful. There should be a screw and washer. We'll pull our aftermarket, or I guess K2 lookalike from Magpul off. That comes with the N4. And then the small nut. Don't lose those pieces. I'm going to want to throw this on something else because this is actually really nice. Now we have to figure out how to pop this guy open because it looks like there's a little base cap here. Yeah, so I'm just popping this open. Do I need to push this forward at all? I think it just pops off. Yeah, it just pops off. Just be careful. I don't know how long that's going to last if you keep popping that on and off. I'm never going to have to take that off again, I don't think, so that's cool. And that's awesome. They have 2 different screw ports for depending on what platform you're throwing this on, so it should fit just fine. It should be as simple as just putting this guy back in. Pop this back on. It's a nice snug fit. Fits pretty seamlessly actually. And it looks like we have to go into the front hole. And we'll keep the washer on as well. If I can't get that. Did I get in the right one? Are we gold? Going in the right hole. Voila! We should just be able to pop this guy back on now. It's not too bad. Pretty simple. Cool. Check that out. Looks like it's the grip's gonna run like a race. That's cool. Next, we're just going to take down this rear takedown pin. I feel like it'll be easier to do it this way. We'll pop this guy apart. Why don't I separate the receiver completely? I'll pop this front takedown pin out as well. I think that should make things a little bit easier. Separate the receivers. We're going to pop our spring and buffer out. And now we just have to be careful. Let's pull the other buffer tube out. Is there anything in here? I don't think so. Okay. This should fit just inside of here now. Yeah, it does. Okay, perfect. So we just have to replace it. You could see the reason we need this one is because it doesn't have this protrusion at the base. This protrusion will not fit inside of the Hera stock. I'm just going to loosen the castle nut and hold this plate against the receiver. Cool. Now, should just pull this all the way off. Okay. Now, carefully loosen the base plate, because again, you'll see there's a spring and detent in here. You don't want to lose that. I'm terrified that I'm doing this outside. Is it on the left side? Trying to see where it is. All right, yeah, so it's on the bottom. You can see that guy. I don't think it's loose, actually. Should just be able to unscrew this now. I'm gonna hold it in this orientation. Doesn't look like anything's falling apart. Just keep it in this upright position in case something does. Okay. I don't know if we're going to be keeping this thing on. I'm not 100% sure. We very well may not, but we'll see. Now is where things start to get weird and risky. In order to install this guy into the MWS or any MWS system, as with all MWS systems, they are not mil-spec because they're made overseas, which means they are, in fact, metric threading. So what we have to do is tap our receiver. Because if you want to do any specific modifications without any wiggle room and using real steel parts, we have to make it real steel compatible. And luckily the threads are relatively close to similar from my understanding, so it really shouldn't be that hard. Should be able to do this by hand. It's still going to be risky. But you need a 1/16 by 16 tap. And this is going to allow us to rethread the MWS platform for mil-spec adapters. Now, keep in mind, they do make MWS ones. I think GMP makes an MWS spec one, but they're hard to find in stock consistently, and it's just annoying. I'd rather just make sure that I can use mil-spec stocks in case I want to. So let's tap the receiver. So first things first, just pull out this little spring and buffer to stop. We'll put this aside. And let's take this to our AR vise. And by that, I mean a vise I'm going to wrap a cloth around it because I'm absolutely terrified to do this, not going to lie, first time. Oh, and by the way, just as like proof of reference, this won't go in all the way. It stops about there. Here we go. So currently right now I have a vise. I wrapped some towel around the outside of the receiver just to make sure I don't like destroy the receiver, and I have the receiver relatively locked in place with the threading facing upwards. Now all we're going to do is take our tap, and I should just be able to use a wrench and hand do this. Now make sure, again, you don't force it too much. A lot of people recommend like a 3 turns forward, 2 turns backwards kind of an ordeal. I'm also going to lubricate the inside. You should probably get some sort of metal lubrication or metal like threading oil, but I don't have that on hand, so I'm just going to use any lubrication to make sure we reduce friction as much as possible, and if we have to, we'll just clean it out along the way, because it's going to remove a little bit of metal. And again, just a very small amount of lubrication on the inside to hopefully convince the threads to give way and let me push this in. Oh man, and here we go. I want to throw up. After we get it in a decent ways, it should be a lot easier because it'll stay stable, and then I could start doing like the backwards unthreading and rethreading. I just want to make sure that we don't destroy the threads that we're making because this is not a steel receiver. I might actually just be able to go straight through. It's going so light and so easy that, yeah, I think I'm just going to be able to go through. And it is digging deeper, so as long as we have the correct threads here, this should mil-spec it. Again, I am not an armorer. This is not something that I have done before. I'm just a hobbyist who doesn't like being told, no, it's not going to fit. I can't help myself but keep pushing forwards. I hate to be this guy, but unfortunately I have some atrocious news. It worked absolutely flawlessly. Look at how clean those threads look. Now, if I'm correct, this guy should thread on no problem. I've cleaned everything out. Please thread on. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know why I'm so dumbfounded. But it works. It works. All right, so tube and buffer are in place. Just gonna thread this all the way over. And we should now just be able to collapse this and close it together. And then we'll go ahead and start installing the rest of the parts. 1 and 2 pins. We'll close the receiver in. And this one in. And then as you can see, this guy is rock solid on place. Spring's a little bit bouncy. Might have to add a spacer or two back here. I'm not sure if it's going to move it at all when we start to mess around with this. It should next be as simple as sliding on the CQR Hera stock. So we'll pull this out. We should be able to slot this onto the back. And I'm going to have to do some screwing. We have to screw in the rear bolt and these 2 bolts as well. Just to mount the buffer tube screw, I'm going to assume that it's this one, just because it's the only one that's a single screw. So I think that has to go in the back. Let me just make sure that that's the right... Yeah, it's totally the buffer tube screw. So that's going to hold the stock onto the buffer tube. I will inevitably Loctite every single one of these things in place one day. I'm going to just have to go ahead and take all of this down at some point just because I lost that spring, or the, the pin. So, there we go. Next, we have to attack these guys that attach the stock to the grip. And I'm just going to take a wild guess here and say it's probably the 2 smaller Allen bolts. And then their corresponding nuts. So that guy and that guy. And then we'll grab the smaller sized nuts. These look like M4, I would assume. And where's the last one? It's inside of that QD mount. We'll throw those on afterwards. We'll drop both of these in on the right side. And I'll just keep a finger on it. And toss the Allen bolts in on the right side. That's the first one. And we'll hand tighten these at the end. Cool. Next, we have to drop the stock in place. I think we just have to... Oh, okay, that's really cool. So, I mean, this stock is super long to begin with, but it is adjustable. So what you could do is you could pull it out, and then you can lock the screws a little bit further in, just for attractiveness sake. I'm going to keep it fully collapsed, and we just have to pull out, I think these are M5. These are some big boys. And then their corresponding nuts as well. Right there. Oh, this thing looks so much cooler already. There are going to be so many people in the comments that despise me for this. But like I said, I'm really thinking I'm going to like it. Trying to make a AR platform that just doesn't look like everybody else's on the market. Just not jamming an EOTech on there. Just not jamming a foregrip on there. A different buffer tube stock. Just make it a little bit spicy. You know, something that's our own. Oh, not the right bit. This one should be the right bit. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. This plastic on this stock is by no means like a cheap plastic. I just want to make sure that we don't crack it. Cool. And then I think they just give us extra sling mounts or QD mounts. Yeah, they do. So I guess when these wear out, you can reinsert them. For some reason, I thought they were going to go in there. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they will. The thing is, they only give you one screw. They give you one extra screw. Oh, does it thread? How's this one go? Oh, yeah, okay, so it threads into both of them. So if we put one on one side, and then one on the other side, and then we drop the screw in place. Let's try that. That does seem like it'll work. Uh-huh. And that locks that in nice and tight. There's so many different mounts here for stocks. Holy. You guys just want to admire something really quick? Oh, you just wait until we put some more attachments on this. This is ridiculous. And it honestly makes it even lighter because it's all plastic. Or at least it feels like it makes it a lot lighter. That is evil. You got a QD point here, sling mount, sling mount, sling mount, sling mount. I can adjust the stock, little rubber pad. Look at the grip. I love that. I don't know if everyone's going to love that, but I love that. I'm going to have to source a new pin for this thing. If anybody has any ideas where I can get a new pin to lock in the buffer tube stop, just let me know. Obviously, this is a double Eagle Noveske N4, so that's the model MWS system that I need. I'll catch you guys on the next adventure. I hope you're excited for the rest of this upgrade series because it's just going to get absolutely more ridiculous than this. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.